What's up, Outlaws? How is everybody? So, you finally did it! You drew that once-in-a-lifetime Oryx hunt in New Mexico. Or maybe you're jumping over to Africa to shoot an Oryx, or maybe you just bought one in Texas. I think that's the only place. What is the best caliber for this? What is the best rifle for this? What is the best configuration for this? I don't know how to hunt these. I'm also gonna give you a couple of tips and tricks. So you're gonna wanna make sure you stay to the very end for those tips and tricks on how to get these Oryx. But first, hit that subscribe button if you wanna know the best caliber you need to get your once-in-a-lifetime Oryx. All right, guys, I have become like the default Oryx guy for all of my friends. So in the state of New Mexico is one of the only places I know left in the world that you could shoot a free range Oryx. And there are more people that put in for that hunt than any hunt, I think in the United States is what I read. I don't know, fact check me on that one. So you drew this hunt, it's free range Oryx, you can get the Boone and Crockett, you can get the trophy of a lifetime, and it's only a once in a lifetime hunt. So, because I grew up in New Mexico, because I grew up around these Oryx, all of my friends that draw out, I get to be the first call. It's crazy. So I have, in the last several years, just been on a ton of Oryx hunts. A bunch of them. So what is the best caliber for it? The best caliber is probably not what you think. But first, let me give you your first tip. Your first tip is, when it comes to hunting Oryx, specifically in New Mexico, I don't know how they hunt them on a high fence ranch, so let's go specifically in New Mexico because that's the reason you're watching this, let's just be honest, okay? Specifically in New Mexico, tip number one, don't get out of the truck or don't get out of your buggy, whatever you're in. Stay in that so you can cover as much ground as you possibly can. So Oryx stay moving all day long, right? In the middle of the day when it's hot, they lay down and they sleep just a little bit, and they sleep all night. I have not seen any that moved at night. What I have seen is they move all day, kind of like an antelope. And they're a member of the antelope family, so that makes sense. They're constantly grazing and constantly moving. Tip number two that you need to know is they're not ever on the New Mexico state hunts. They're not ever on the side of the road. Everybody is road hunting, right? You can't shoot from the vehicle. Game wardens are everywhere, they'll nail you for it. Can't shoot from the vehicle, but if you look, they're about 600 yards off the road. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been in there to watch all these hunters drive past them, me to take my glass and just say, okay, in between this road and this road, it makes sense that they're gonna be in these bushes, in that greasewood, every single time they are. Just stop, look around, you'll find them. All right, so best calibers. The first thing you're gonna ask me is a 6.5 Creedmoor enough? And I'm gonna say, I have actually taken a 6.5 Creedmoor out with 3 different guys, okay? So, I'm just gonna be honest and tell you what happened. The first guy shot the Oryx with a 6.5 Creedmoor at 330 yards. It rolled off of this hill. That thing got back, we were like, oh my gosh, he killed him. That was like the greatest shot ever. 330 yards. We went over there, we had to drive down this canyon and up to go get him. We went down this canyon, up to go get him. By the time we got over there, we couldn't find him at all. We couldn't find any blood, couldn't find anything. Finally found that thing about 800 yards away in a dead sprint run. And that guy pumped him through, literally through the heart. We had to get on him and chase him down. Like if you shoot one and you wound one, you have to go kill him. So we finally got on him, chased him down, shot him 3 more times with that 6.5 Creedmoor, killed him. It was cool, but it was I mean, we went through a lot and we pushed that animal a lot. Next guy, extremely competent shooter. The Oryx was 505 yards away, standing broadside. He shot him right through the heart. The Oryx turned. All he did was turn and take 1 step. And I was like, dude, shoot him again. And he shot him right through the heart again. Now remember, their heart is not back here like you think. It's up here on their shoulder, okay? Just as that black meets that white. And so he shot him through both sides. And the Oryx stayed there. I think he ran. And now, okay, another tip. Oryx are a lot like mule deer. So when you see an Oryx, you get him and he runs, you're like, oh, okay. He takes off running, keep your gun on him, follow him with your gun, have somebody calling out the range. Follow him, he's gonna stop again and turn around and look at you. When he stops and when he looks at you, you have about 4 seconds to go, boom, shoot him. So what I do is if I know, I'm like, oh, okay, he looks like he's about 300 or 400 yards away. I know that I usually leave it set on 1 mil. I come up, boom, I shoot him as soon as he stops, right? That's if you're advanced, but he is gonna stop and look at you again. Don't take your gun off of him. and watch him with your binoculars. If he's the Oryx that you want, watch him with your gun. He's gonna stop again and give you another shot, okay? He shot him, the Oryx ran about 130 yards, and so I'm telling him, stay on him, stay on him, stay on him, stay on him, and then he just rolls over and dies. So in that instance, I would say that's why I get a lot of my 6.5 Creedmoor works really well to 500, right? It did. Now you're saying, hey, that's 50-50, I don't know, should I have this? Well, let me give you the next time, is we took 6.5 Creedmoors out just this year. I took the guys from Noveski out, great friends of mine, and one of the guys with me shot and put all of these in the pump house at 400 yards, literally all of them in the pump house 7 times before it killed that Oryx with a 6.5 Creedmoor, 143 ELDXs. Literally every bullet hit him perfect. He just kept hitting him, and I just kept saying, shoot, 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 shoot. And on the 7th shot, he finally dropped, all right? And another guy on that hunt had a 6.5 Creedmoor. They're the Noveski rifles, the new ones that they're coming out with, 6.5 Creedmoor prototypes. And he smoked this one at 330. Hit him a little high in the neck. The Oryx went around the corner and died. So, is 6.5 Creedmoor enough for me? No, I don't take them out. My Forest Oryx that I ever shot, I shot with a 30 Heart. And when I shot him with the 30 Heart, you know, the 30 Heart was using 180 grain Nosler ballistic tip bullet, and I shot him at 440 yards, and it folded him up. I got a private land tag, and I shot another one with a 6.5 PRC, but it was only like 174 yards. We were driving in the middle of the day, it stood up, I was like, oh my gosh, boom, shot him, right? Those are the 2 that I've personally killed. Now, what I've seen is the 6.5 Creedmoor just doesn't have enough oomph to get the job done. The best calibers, I think, is a big Magnum. So usually what happens whenever I go Oryx hunting with these guys is everybody wants to use their gun, but then they don't realize that most of the shots that I'm having to make on them are 400, 500, and 600 meters. Some are close, some are, but most of them are 400, 500, 600 meters. And so I end up letting them shoot their gun a couple of times or realizing that their gun isn't set up to make that. That's the next tip I'm gonna give you for Oryx hunting. Expect to make a 600 meter shot. Are there closer ones? Absolutely. But expect to make a 600 meter shot and expect to do it off of a tripod, okay? Practice those things. What tripod should you get? Really Right Stuff makes a good one. Manfrotto 0550 is a great one. And just have a tripod set up, probably a hog saddle or an Arca rail, something like that you can set up and get really braced up on. Make sure that you're doing it correctly. Make sure that you point the tripod like right at the animal so that when it recoils straight back. Turn your hand around, push out on the tripod, and make your shot. You can make a 600 meter shot very easy off of a tripod. That is not a hard thing to do. Practice that a bunch. All right, 300 PRC is an amazing one. Why is 300 PRC an amazing one? I had some guys out that drew out on the military only hunt. They were snipers, they were really good. One of the things that we didn't know, he had a 300 PRC with the 212 ELDXs, is somehow his scope got messed up. But we didn't know that. We went out, we confirmed the 0, everything was great, have no idea how. He shoots and we're like, dude, I have no idea where you hit, but the Oryx stopped. And I was like, I don't know where you hit. Shoot him again. And he shot him again. Well, both times hit him in the back hip and it blew like the opposite leg off of him, blew it up in the air. I was like, dude, you missed him by 3 mils. I said, aim at the front of his nose. So he aimed at the front of his nose and he killed him. We still have no idea. He had to send that scope back. I'm gonna let you guess the manufacturer of that scope. We had to send that scope back. They sent him another one that didn't work. We sent him another one that didn't work. Finally, they sent him another one in a brand new box. He sold that one and went and bought a Night Force. Watch that video right here. 300 PRC with that 212, when it hit bone, it just ripped bone to shreds. That was an excellent choice, an excellent bullet, and I really like it for it. 28 Nosler's a great one. We shot one with a 30 Heart has done it. Now a 30 Heart is like the equivalent to 30 Nosler. So that is an excellent choice to shoot with. But 300 Win Mag, 7mm mag. Watch this video right here on calibers. What is your best choice of calibers that I did? This is one of the best videos that I think I've ever done. I don't know how it didn't hit the algorithm or get more popular, but I really think that I do a really good job of breaking down what calibers do. So I think you'll see that any caliber in the long action Magnum bolt face is gonna work great for Oryx. Do you need a 338? No. Will it work excellent? Yes. We even shot one with a 375 Shytac. Dude, rolled it. It was awesome. but that's too big of a gun. Like, did it mess up a bunch of meat? No. Like, people who say that it messes up too much meat when you shoot them with a 338 or a 375 or whatever, when you shoot them right, that's not meat that you were gonna eat anyway. Now, if you shoot them bad and you get them in the back hindquarters, or you shoot them too high and you mess up their back straps, yes, you're gonna screw them up. But if you shoot them right through the pump house, right where you're supposed to shoot them, it doesn't mess up any meat that you were gonna eat anyway. But I am really paying attention on being sensitive to recoil. Now remember in my last video that I did, I told you guys, practice with a short action, practice with a 6.5 Creedmoor, a 308. Practice, 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 practice. Then take your Magnum out hunting, because you don't want to get that flinch in there early. And listen, I shoot a lot. I shoot maybe 5,000 or 6,000 bolt gun rounds a year right now. I'm shooting a lot this year. This year, I'm really shooting a lot. I still have to tell myself with a Magnum, you know, focus, crosshair, crosshair, crosshair. Don't be a sissy, don't be a sissy, breathe. And so I'm fighting Magnums in my head. That means I know you're gonna fight a Magnum in your head too. I'm not the best, I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying Magnums, they're a mental game of, you know, like, do they recoil too much? Did they jump too much? So you want to pick a caliber that works really well for that. Now, I haven't done it yet, but I have a 7 PRC coming out, and I'll do a backup video to this if this video does good and you guys want to see it. But I think that 7 PRC is going to be a hammer because it's essentially a 7 mag with a great ELDX bullet in there. So choose the right bullet. Choose the Nosler Partition or the ELDX or a Barnes. Choose a great hunting bullet. Don't shoot a match bullet at them. You need this thing to open up and tear bone up when it hits it, because you are gonna hit some bone. And you need it to do the max amount of damage that it can possibly do. And choose a Magnum, because one of the things that you're gonna notice when you go out there and you get your first Oryx, I think they have 5 stomachs. 2 guys can't hardly budge one full-size Oryx. 3 guys can kind of get them in with their guts. As soon as you pull their guts out, it's like you take half of their weight and you throw it up. So if you have to shoot through those guts at all, if he's just quartering just a little out of the way for you, or you're shooting a running shot, or you're having to make a follow-up shot, you're gonna have to shoot through those guts, and you need something that's gonna punch through them. Also, remember, Oryx is the same animal that it's like an elk. They're big, they're powerful. You shoot him, put another bullet in, shoot him again. Put another bullet in, shoot him again. Shoot him until he falls. Make sure that you're hitting them all right every time. This is the last tip I'm gonna give you for Oryx hunting. Make sure you box breathe. What is box breathing? Breathe in through your nose, into your diaphragm. 4 seconds. Hold, 4 seconds. Breathe out through your mouth. 4 seconds. Pause, 4 seconds. This will bring down your heart rate, put a bunch of oxygen back in your brain, help you focus and get rid of that buck fever. Or if you had to hump it a long ways to get him, it will help you start like focusing on your breathing, and it will calm you down out of that buck fever so that you can shoot one of these better. All right, Outlaws, do me a favor. I need back in that algorithm. I'm putting a whole bunch of these hunting videos up because I know it's about to be hunting season, and I think these might help you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, and remember, when you're hunting Oryx, don't get out of the truck till you see the Oryx you want. Outlaw out.